What was your email?
This episode of The Commercial Break starts now.
Hi.
It's Friday, and you're wondering why we're on Friday.
Yes.
Well, curiosity killed the cat, and I am not a cat. So let's get right into it. I'm Bryan, this is Krissy, and
Hello.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to me. Happy New Year to everybody. And in case you're wondering, this is not, we didn't record this on January 1st. We're just a bunch of fucking idiots who like to say Happy New Year.
Yeah. Well,
I think it could be on a t-shirt one day.
Yeah.
Happy New Year. And people will be like, oh, you're wearing that in July. Why? Because the commercial break, that's why.
Well, fun fact.
Fun fact.
The Ides of March. Heard of the Ides of March?
I have heard of the Ides of March.
Yeah, Julius Caesar was killed on that day. But I was reading a little bit about it, and it used to be the beginning of the New Year. The Romans.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Well, I know that the Chinese have a New Year. That's in
had
February,
it.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It's in February? First
Yeah,
week of February?
They just had
yeah,
it.
Okay.
So again, we can just say Happy New Year.
All year long.
All year long.
And we can get away with it. And especially when we're just kind of stuck in this time suck called coronavirus.
Yeah, exactly.
We really
What
don't
day
know
is it
what day is
anyways?
it, what time is it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've kind of gotten into a rhythm, though, like a coronavirus rhythm. Like I'm waking up.
A Rona rhythm?
Yeah. A Rona rhythm. A Rona? What's that? Coronavirus sounds like something delicious. We used to have coronavirus for breakfast. What's his name? Mr. Platypus? Vandersloot?
Vandersloot.
Vandersloot. My name is
Percy.
Percy Vandersloot.
His first name is definitely Percy.
Percy Vandersloot here. What's a here? In case you don't know, Percy was born in the year 22. Still alive to this day. He's seen everything.
Happy New Year to Percy.
Happy New Year to you. It's a New Year. New Year's on the third revolution of the moon. On my wife's third cycle. That's Happy New Year. This is the commercial break. Welcome. If you haven't joined us before, well, then you're in for a treat. If you have joined us before, we think. Welcome aboard. If you're wondering why we're here on a Friday, it's because we're now going to be here on Friday. That's the executive decision that has been made from the top on down. We're going to be recording 2 episodes for you every single week, Tuesdays and Fridays for now. We may do more in the future. Who knows?
Yeah.
You demanded it. We responded. You asked for it. You got it. Be careful what you ask for. And you demanded it. So what we're doing, we usually record the Friday episodes for Patreon. We are retooling Patreon. We've been in touch with all of our Patreon members. We're going to retool Patreon.
Feel free to still send us.
Yeah, feel free to sign up for nothing. No, actually, you're going to get much more, and that's why we're retooling Patreon, and we thought we'd go to 2 episodes a week because the show's growing, and that's what we thought we would do. And let's see how it all works out.
The demand is there.
That's right. You can still go to tcbpodcast.com, www.tcbpodcast.com, to watch all of our YouTube videos, get all of our audio library, all of the most important of episodes, 1 through whatever we are on now, and text us at.
We're in the 40s.
We're in the 40s. I think we're rounding. Toward 50. This might be 49. Maybe.
Ooh.
I don't know. Well, it depends on when I release it. We're releasing on a Friday, so then I know. Yeah. I'm a dumbass. The brain's not working this morning. 470-584-8449 is where you can go to text us or leave us a message. Standard text messaging rates do apply. There you go.
Yeah.
I have been talking nonstop for like 6 days, Holy. It's driving me crazy.
You have.
So for those of you that, I mean, how many of you would know this? I guess some people probably listening from ClubHouse. That might be, that's a good assumption to make. But we have been doing a lot of talking about podcasting, not the commercial break, but the practice of, or the art of podcasting. And so over the weekend, we did like a little podcasting conference. It just, so many hours of those 3 days were spent talking. And I woke up, or I went to bed Sunday night, and I'm like, I don't know that I could talk about another thing having to do with podcasting for like 2 weeks, but here we are recording again. The train never stopped, and now twice a week. So.
New year, it's new beginnings. We're going to talk about your changing body as well.
Body? Sounds interesting. If I could get under this beaver fur, figure out what a body was. Is that what you wear, beaver fur?
Pelts.
Beaver fur. Beaver pelt. That's right, Krissy. It's a beaver pelt. Covers my Holy Johnson.
And do you have to wear snowshoes, those those like tennis racket
I
looking
put the
things.
snowshoes on my penis. Keeps me from getting frostbitten on the redhead, if you know what I mean. I'm not even sure it's down there anymore. I don't know. Haven't seen it since 1922.
Could have frozen off.
First World War. That's the last time I saw my penis. At Bryan Green is where you can catch me on Clubhouse. At TCB Krissy is where you can catch her on Clubhouse, and at The Commercial Break on Instagram. Please follow us. We do lots of interesting content on Instagram, and we thank all the people who have started to follow us. So let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Have you been watching The Teen Mom?
No.
Why?
Because it's no.
Crack is whack.
You love that show.
I just love this show. I don't know
You've
why
been
I
into
love
it
this
since
show.
the beginning,
Since
though.
the very
And
beginning,
now
since
I feel
the
like
first
if I jumped
episode.
in, I wouldn't know what was going on.
I mean, I'm sure people think I'm a total Yahoo because of my television watching habits, like 1,000-Pound Sisters and 90 Day Fiance and
Strange
Teen
Addiction.
Mom, My Strange Addiction. Well, My Strange Addiction, I think everybody can get into because who doesn't want to see somebody with a strange addiction?
Yeah.
That's why people that are outside the norm that do things like eating rocks and pillow mattresses. Or bed mattresses are just kind of interesting human beings. We've all got to admit that. Drinking air freshener. Someone else was actually, they huff gasoline. And so they always have to have a cup of gasoline in their car. So they'll like.
That's wrong? That's wrong to do?
Crack is whack.
You have no authority here, Jackie Weaver.
You can't do that, Jackie Weaver!
It's not part of the rules?
Well, I think it's called just getting high.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they call it My Strange Addiction, but I think it's just called getting fucked up. Like when you're huffing gasoline.
Yeah.
I'll cut up this episode. We'll do it for maybe next week. We'll do this. But I saw this. So an older lady, probably in the mid 40s. And then you've got her younger daughters, probably 18 or 19. It's just my guess. And this lady is driving around. They stop at McDonald's, to get a Happy Meal or whatever the good bullshit they get. Yeah. And then they have to stop at the gas station so her mom can fill up her cup of gasoline.
Oh.
So she fills up the cup of gasoline, then just sticks her hand right in the gasoline. And she's like,
oh my gosh, that's dangerous.
she just like rubs it on her face. And I'm like, holy shit, that cannot be good for you.
No. While you're driving?
While she's driving.
Oh, God.
Luckily, she's not a smoker because that'd just be bad news altogether. Smoke them if you got them. So,
boom.
Yeah, boom. I mean, it's like something out of a cartoon. The lady's like rubbing gasoline under her nose. And it just was so.
I would refuse to get in the car with somebody who was
her daughter
that.
was pretty embarrassed. I got to say, the lady who's eating rocks.
Was there a cameraman in the car?
Yes. But I don't think they put a cameraman in the car. I think they like attach it to the windshield. Yeah, they're probably 200 yards behind going, well, I hope she doesn't explode. I hope this is not another one of those episodes where the subject explodes. It's one too many documentaries we've seen people just explode because you're eating rocks, you're huffing air freshener, you're eating. There's one where the lady is eating mattresses, like literally she cuts up mattresses and then eats the foam out of them. And she eats like a pound of foam a day. How can that not kill you?
Weird.
How can that not kill you? Honestly, how can that not kill you? So anyway, my TV habits are, probably disturbing to most, but I digress. Teen Mom was a television show that was started back in the early 2000s, I think, or mid 2000s, like 2005, 2006 by MTV. They haven't played videos in a long time. And this is one of the hit shows that they had was they followed a bunch of mothers, soon to be mothers around that were in their teenage years, 15, 16, 17 years old. And then most of them had a significant other of some sort. And so of those 6 first young ladies that they recorded, they now have a show called Teen Mom OG, right? Which means the original cast, the original gangsters. And so there's still 4 of them are still around. And it's just fascinating to watch them grow up like.
Well, that's true. So see, if I jumped in now, I wouldn't know what they started off as.
No,
so
I think
give me a recap.
Okay, well, I'm going to give you they got pregnant. They had more children. Here's the amazing thing is they had babies and it fucked their life up completely. And then they had more children.
Okay.
I guess that's the way that it is though. But
are any of them with the same guy that they had the original kids with?
Yes. Okay. One of them is.
Okay, good.
One of them is. And her name is Caitlin and his name is Tyler. And they're, to me, the most fascinating of the couples because they are literally still together from when they were like 13 years old. They got together when they were 13. Now they're getting close to 30, I would imagine. And they're still together and they're still having children.
Okay.
And they still have some kind of love for each other.
Okay.
What amazes me is I understand just how hard it is to have a child now. And I'm in my 40s, and I understand how difficult it is to have children. Are no fucking joke. Just for any of you out there contemplating children, it's no fucking joke.
It's a big responsibility.
Huge responsibility. Every minute of every day is occupied with children. There is not a minute, except maybe at night when they're sleeping. But besides that, and if they're at school, there's not a minute of the day where they are not occupying your ever-loving time. There is no more time for anything because now children are there, right?
Yes.
Work, children, and then you can throw in an occasional fun there. What amazes me about these young ladies is the fortitude that they must have had to have children when they're teenagers. Now, I'm 44, well-established, got shaken all the crazies, well, shaken most of the crazies. Not crazy. But I've gotten all that wild shit out of my system, and now I'm having children, and I feel like I'm equipped to handle what's going on. When I was 16 or 17 years old, I can't imagine that I would have been prepared to have a child.
No, it's not just a little doll.
No, though some of those mothers treated them like little dolls. Yeah. But I can't imagine how difficult that must have been, Hoadley. Like the constant nurturing that's needed, the diaper changing, every moment of every day that they're just tugging on your shirt, asking for your attention, because that's what they need, because they're just little growing humans, and they don't know any better. And then to be 16 or 17 and have to deal with all of this.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. Now, I guess it's much easier when you're making, $25,000 an episode from MTV.
That's true.
Yeah, that probably makes life easier. But it's fascinating to me to watch these girls now that they've grown up. The show has evolved from a show that was focusing on the pregnancy of the teenagers to now a show that's focusing on the fame that they've acquired because of the show.
Right. Yeah, because I used to see them on the grocery store tabloid type things all the time.
Yeah, that's the other thing. They really have to grow up in front of the tabloids. One of these girls, Amber Portwood, is one of the original OG mothers, and she has had she struggled with some mental health issues along the way. She's been to jail a couple times. She's been addicted to drugs. She got arrested for heroin one time, and she has just been slayed by these magazines. I mean, slayed. She's always on the cover for something or other. I can't imagine the pressure that this woman is under, and then to have a mental health issue on top of it must be really difficult. But they're all still there and kicking. They're all doing it. And now what is fascinating about this new season, or these new couple of seasons that have been out, is that now that the producers are involved in the show, so the people who have been with them since the beginning, producing the show, are now on camera themselves, asking questions. Like, there's now a relationship between the producers and the children and the producers.
They've grown up with them too.
They've grown up with them too. And so now it's like they've broken the fourth wall. Now they've broken like the sixth and seventh wall. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just a show about a show now. And it's really, really fascinating.
I bet. Well, speaking of MTV, they just did a reboot of the original Real World, right?
They did?
Yeah.
Really?
I've seen a couple news things about it. I don't know if it's out yet, but I'm going to watch
Now,
it.
Is that show with the original cast?
the
original cast from the original Real World?
Yes, yeah.
There's some of you that weren't even born when the show came out. I mean,
that was the original, like, a little reality show thing that
absolutely.
started it.
All you know is reality television. That's how you grew up. You grew up on reality television. To you, by the way, reality television is not really reality. It's just, it's
edited,
cut and pasted to make it interesting for your consumption. And I think that anybody who watches reality TV must at some level be aware of that. But back in the day, probably 1992, I want to say, like right when the grunge years were starting, 1992 or 91, MTV, who had been up till then just really playing videos. That's all they did, was play videos back to back. But what the people at MTV, the good people, I just watched a documentary on this, the good people at MTV figured out is that if they were starting to get viewership numbers that were serious, advertisers were starting to take them seriously. But how they sold advertising was in quarter hours, every 15 minutes. So they would look at the numbers every 15 minutes. Were you keeping someone's attention for 1 quarter hour or 5 quarter hours on a particular television station?
Yeah.
And what happened was that MTV was playing videos just back to back to back, which was incredibly popular. But if you didn't like the video that was on, you just turned the channel and you might come back later.
Yep.
So what was happening is people were tuning in for an average of like 3 or 4 minutes, not like 15 or 20 or 30 in some cases. So they figured they have to start competing in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
How can they do this? So they started to put these, ideas together where they would do like, Headbangers Ball, where it was
Yep.
all heavy metal, figuring that people that listen to heavy metal would tune in for longer.
Yo MTV Raps.
Yo MTV Raps
Yeah,
was a great
love
show.
that.
Yeah, 180 minutes, which was another like super alternative, all the super alternative music. But then they said to themselves, you know what we really got to do is we got to start making some television shows that are 30 minutes to an hour long. And so the first one that they came up with was Remote Control,
Remote
the television
Control.
show. If you ever have time and you have never heard of Remote Control, go look up Remote Control episodes.
They had those big, huge
chairs, and the chairs would pull away.
And then they had the
What was the guy's
remotes.
name who
That
he died?
guy.
He died young. Ken Ober. Ken Ober.
Ober,
And
okay.
Adam Sandler. That was the first television that Adam Sandler ever did.
Okay.
Was on
Yeah.
Remote
He's
Control.
the host.
Colin Quinn was on
Colin
there.
Quinn, I remember him.
So a bunch of famous people, not yet famous, but soon to be famous people were on that television show. And it's basically just like a Jeopardy for dum-dums.
It's like a game
Yeah,
show.
it's like a game show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're sitting in these big chairs.
It's a
Jeopardy
show
for dum-dums. That's what it is. Jeopardy show for dum-dums. Yeah, like a Jeopardy show for the MTV generation.
Exactly.
Like, you don't know anything, you probably know these pop culture questions that we're
Right.
about to ask you. And then then somebody in the programming department said, had this like revolutionary idea. What if they had done a couple of contests where people would win a house. It was a big thing on MTV for like 4 years. Win a house. And, John Cougar.
A party house.
A party house.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then John Cougar Mellencamp would come and play with you, or
yeah.
John Bon Jovi or whatever. And they won this house, literally the deed to a house. And like nowhere, Indiana. It was not a great house, but whatever. Now you had a house.
Yeah.
And I always wondered, did people like move to that house? Like what?
I don't know. Those whole house giveaways.
I was
You had
so
to pay,
young.
You end up having to
Pay
pay
the
property
taxes and the
all of
transfer
that
deeds
stuff.
and-
Most
yeah.
people don't keep them.
They probably never took hold of them in the
Yeah.
first place. MTV ended up, just selling them.
Burning it down.
Cents on the dollar, burning it down because they'd paint it pink with a big MTV symbol on the front of it for one weekend worth of recording. And then you'd have this shitty house that the neighbors hated you, right? The police department was over there every 5 minutes.
Right.
So they would literally give away a house every year. And this was the MTV's big thing, a party house with, John Bon Jovi or Van Halen or whoever it was.
Yeah.
And I remember being such a young kid and tuning into MTV when cable was first in our house and thinking to myself, how fucking cool would it be to win a house with Van Halen or Guns N' Roses or whatever it was.
But yeah, that was your goal in life.
That's right.
Was to either win that or go to a party there.
Yeah, some party, Spring Break, MTV Spring Break was
Oh, that
another
was
one
huge.
where I always waited for MTV Spring Break because it was just nothing but nonstop hot women in bikinis.
Exactly.
And I was like, 12 years old.
Yeah, they had
So
DJs
excited.
playing. And
That's right. So someone had the genius idea that they recorded these party houses for 48 hours. Mm-hmm. And they were like, well, what if we did that for 4 months? What if we put a bunch of random strangers in a house together and then recorded them for a period of time, just to see what happens, just let it unfold.
And that was actually what they said. Exactly what you said was what they said
yeah,
on
what
air
they
to
said on
promote
air.
this.
Yeah. What happens
if
when
we-
12 strangers get together? We'll find out.
Well,
yeah. What they found out was fucking fascinating.
Yeah.
Because they'd pick a bunch of people. They'd obviously
Random backgrounds.
Yeah, they'd personality profile them. There'd be the the shit talker and the guy who liked drama and the girl who was quiet and the virgin
the
from
pretty girl
Indiana
that
with the
two guys
yeah.
are gonna like.
That's
yeah.
right. That's right. And man, was it fascinating.
It was.
When it first came out, no one knew what to think of it because it was a brand new genre of TV. It was a reality show, like a camera following you around. And it became one of the most fascinating things on television. I remember that first season thinking to
I was
myself, wow, this is
glued.
fucking insane.
Yeah.
They're just living. And then I remember thinking to myself, I need to be on this. I actually tried out for the real world. True story. True story.
I am not surprised in the least.
I tried out for the real world. I was too young at the time. Listen, I never got a response, but I was too young and I just gave it a shot anyway. I was like 17. You had to be like 21 or something. Or no, I was 19 and you had to be 21. I just gave it a shot anyway.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, I never heard back from anybody. But I remember thinking for 2 months, they're going to love me. They're going to love me and I'm going to be on the
They
show.
would have loved you.
They're going to love me. I
You
don't know
would've
why
been
I thought
perfect.
so much of myself. I never thought much of myself in my teenage years, but for some reason, I felt that it was like serendipity that I was going to be on the real world. I was going to be the next
this
big real world.
day in 2021, you would probably have your pick because there's so many.
There's so many. Yeah, I mean, at this age, I definitely would be on the real world just because they were probably hunting for talent. Everyone's famous now. Look at us.
The demand has
I know.
grown.
Going to clubhouse rooms sometimes and people are like, oh man, I listen to the commercial break. I'm like, no shit.
Yeah.
No shit. You actually listen to my show. That's kind of cool. Thanks for that. So then this started this whole genre of reality show programming on MTV.
Yeah, because it went into like 20 seasons or something of The Real World.
Oh,
It just got to
then
be
I'm more.
crazy after a while.
Well, I mean, then what happened was, in my opinion, so then for a long time there was this debate about is reality TV killing regular television?
Right.
There was literally people were debating about whether or not they should cancel reality shows because it was just bad for society and bad for TV. And, now everything's a reality show.
It is.
Basically, there's very few. Compared to reality shows are relatively cheap to make. You can make anybody a star. You can edit it any way you want to make the drama. And as opposed to getting high-priced talent, having new sets every day, writing scripts, you have writers and producers and all this other stuff.
Yeah, Friends and all of that.
All that stuff where you're paying people $20 million an episode or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy shit like that. So MTV really pioneered reality TV. What happened was the reality show stars, the people that were starring in the show, ended up becoming stars in and of their own right.
Right.
So now people were not as authentic on the reality shows because they just wanted to be TV stars.
Yes.
Right? They knew that fame was coming with this, so they started acting differently. They acted for the cameras. And that still continues on to this day, keeping up with the Kardashians. What's that one that I've been watching that I really, really like? It's Redneck Riviera or something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
You don't know which one I'm talking about? No. Panama City or Florida Bama Shore. Florida Bama Shore. Have you seen that?
No,
That's
but then
fascinating
think
trash.
about like the New Jersey, what was it? Jersey Shore.
Jersey Shore. That's still going on to this day.
Yeah, no,
they just rented an entire hotel during coronavirus. And it's higher fucking hotel. What a life these people are living. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Florida Bama Shore. Come on the show. So Teen Mom is one of these successful shows that came out of there, and now they're still alive and kicking. And I just think this show is so fascinating. I can't believe you're not with me on this one.
I just never started watching it.
You got to start watching it.
Okay.
Can you pick it up? Can you pick it up real quick? What do you think?
I'll test it.
Change the remote. Get the remote.
Next thing you know, Jeff's finding me in the bed. I haven't got out of bed in days.
Jeff hates me. Does Jeff hate me?
Watching Teen Mom.
Let me ask you a serious question. Does Jeff hate me? Do you ever get that podcast look from your spouse? Like, are you talking about podcasting again?
Jeff does not hate you.
Okay, that's
at
good.
all.
Because I like
We
Jeff.
were all friends before.
Yeah, we were all friends before. I just don't want to ruin the friendship over this
you're not.
silly little show.
You could if you have me watch Teen Mom.
Okay, so back off the Teen Mom. Watch it in the bathroom, like when you're in the you're doing your morning business. Just like give it a quick scroll.
Okay,
right?
well,
That's my advice.
secretive.
Yeah, because Astrid sometimes she has been so supportive. I mean, she does so much stuff for the show. She is on a part of
amazing.
part of the growth is Astrid,
Yes.
big part of the growth, and Gustavo too. But sometimes she gives me that podcast. I call it the podcast look, and she's like, "Really,
Again?
more podcasting, more commercial break shit." And I'm like, "Yeah, can you watch the kids for another 12 hours?
Right.
I'll be in the studio watching Teen Mom, editing, quote unquote." I just gave away my secret.
I did.
Now she's going to be keeping an eye on me. She's popping in every once in a while.
You watch the kids.
Yeah. I got about 4 more episodes to catch up on.
Close.
On what Ty and whatever her name are. They're having another baby. Can you imagine? This week I wanted to get on one of those apps and figure out, you ever heard the app Whisper or Secret?
I think I've heard of it. I don't have it downloaded, but
It's an app that literally does what it says it's going to do. You can write secrets, and then it's just out there to the world, and you can do it anonymously.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I thought this was interesting. I had read about it in, I don't know, Forbes or something like that, about one of these apps and how the young preteens are out there on Whisper.
Hold on. Can I just pause for a minute? I'm picturing you thumbing through Forbes. While watching Teen Mom. It seems contradictory, but
Forbes.
anyways.
It's for the educated man. Forbes. We know you watch Teen Mom. Forbes. Are you wearing pants?
Neither are we.
Neither are we. Listen, Forbes is. I'm a man of the time.
Okay.
I don't know what I was reading.
I'm a man of the
Forbes.
times.
Yes, man of the time. I'm a Renaissance man. I lived through the Renaissance.
Teen Mom and Forbes.
Teen Mom, Forbes, potty training. These said that
You belong in Florence,
Yeah, some
Italy.
people are like, I like golfing and traveling and long walks on the beach. And I'm like, I like potty training, Forbes and Teen Mom.
We should have put that in the podcast magazine.
I know. Podcast magazine, by the way. Love Podcast magazine.
Yes.
If you're a podcast enthusiast, you can go get yourself a subscription to Podcast magazine. I think they give them out for free now. I'm not really sure, but go to podcastmagazine.com and you can figure it out. So I go on one of these apps and I found a string. Now this is an article, but I found a string called "Worst Sex Stories Ever." Do you want to hear a few of them?
Sure.
Would you be brave enough to tell your worst sex story, or is that too much for you?
No, that's too much.
Okay, I'll tell my
video.
worst sex story.
Okay.
You want me to tell my worst sex story?
Yes.
Why do I always have to be the one that goes out on a limb like this?
All day long.
All day long. Yeah. I like Chuck Woolery in the back. Listen.
All day long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that my worst or most embarrassing sex story is I was dating a girl probably in my early 20s, and we had just started dating, and we went back to her house. We had a few drinks. We went back to her house. We started having sex. And at some point, I just noticed that everything was all wet, right? Everything was all wet.
Oh.
And so I thought to myself, wow, I'm really doing a great job here, right? Like, I must be just like killing it right now. I must just be murdering it right now. I'm just like literally slaying that ass. And afterwards, I say, wow, like, that was and I didn't know her and I had been dating for just a couple weeks. And I think this might've been the first or second time we were having sex. So I was like, wow, wow,
Yes.
that was amazing. Was it amazing for you? And she was like, yeah, good, great. And I said, well, that was really wet. And she explained to me, she goes, oh, yeah. I think I was just really getting very horny, right? And I was like, oh, okay, that's great. But it never happened again, right? It never happened again.
Yeah.
And so my assumption was that I just got peed on that one time.
Maybe.
That I just
Some
got
people
peed
pay
on.
for.
What's that?
I said some people pay for that.
Some people do pay for that. www.tcbpodcast.com. If you'd like to get peed on, give us a call.
TCBP.
TCBP Podcast. TCBP Podcast. I love TCBP Podcast.
Henry Fonda is totally in on that one.
Yeah. You think he's being... Okay, so ready? So I've been peed on during sex. That's my thing. There are much worse stories, but I'm going to save it for a different day.
Tell other people's, though.
Yeah, I'm going to tell other people's. Okay, some of these are short and some of these are long. Ready? Okay. Here's the one called "She Tried to Eat My Cock." Oh. Are you ready for this? Yeah. I was at a party. And me and my friend were getting chummy. We were both drinking, and I got a little bit more drunk than her. As the party dies down, our immediate friend, don't understand that. She takes me back to a room and asks if I want a blowjob. I spit out yes, and she starts going to town. I'm not sure what happened next, but one of us moved in, and suddenly her jaw clenched on my dick, and she broke the skin. My dick started gushing blood, and I started freaking out. But at that point, I was so drunk that eventually I thought it was hilarious. I wrapped my dick in some tissue and it stopped bleeding, and I headed back to the living room to show my friends. Show my friends. What the?
Look what just happened.
What? Hey.
Hey. Pass me that bong.
She's got-
Also,
yeah.
look what just happened.
You get me a Bud Light out of the fridge, bro. Look, I'm missing the tip of my dick. She's got the tip in her mouth, literally. I just see her like rolling it around in her mouth. A John Wayne Bobbitt. Remember John Wayne Bobbitt? Oh, yeah. John Wayne Bobbitt got his dick cut off. Be careful. The rain is after you. Apparently, I burst into the room, my pants around my ankles, screaming, "She tried to eat my cock. She tried to eat my cock. Hi ho, the Dario. She tried to eat my cock. She tried to eat my cock. She tried to eat my cock. Hi ho, the Dario. She bit off the top of my cock." After my performance, I went to bed in the dining room. The girl left crying in shame because all her friends now knew that she bit into my cock. When I woke up, I had blood all over myself and the floor. I had to go to the emergency room for 62 stitches. And
62?
62.
Wow.
Wow, you got a big cock, dude. That's impressive.
Yeah.
That is impressive.
62.
If you're, I'm not getting into it. Never mind. Don't use teeth. But I mean, that's just
Yeah.
like that's just
use
rule number one.
Yeah.
If you have to be told that, then you probably
Unless he
shouldn't
was
be
all
giving blowjobs.
drunk and kind of like fell over or something, you know.
Here's the thing. I think everybody these days thinks they're a fucking porn star, and they do that porn star move where they're just like, you know, they think somebody wants to be like stabbed in the back of the throat with a cock. Don't do that, guys.
No.
You're not a porn star. Porn stars are porn stars. They do a very specific. They do a great job at a very specific type of sex.
Yes,
and that is like super aggressive, you know, sex, and that's why they're porn stars, is because they can do that and they're talented at it. But most people, I would imagine, in my personal experience, either I don't even know that anybody's enjoyed sex with me. But let's just put it this way: in my personal experience, most women, at least that I've been with, don't want that kind of aggressiveness.
No.
I'm sure that if you have. I'm sure if you do, right? But I think most people don't want that kind of aggressiveness where you're like,
What do you think Frankie says about it? Or what's the guy, Frank?
Hey, guys.
You think he has any thoughts?
When
on
you've
that?
got a semi-hardy, when you've got a pudgy soft cock, and you really want to go to town, grab her by the back of the head and just throw her into the front of your groin. They love that. When you're 72 years old, remember that you only can go down to 62, but you can add an extra 5 years if you want to.
You've got his voice.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. Hi.
Frank.
Frank. When you're 72 and you're with your 61-year-old girlfriend, make sure you just push her forehead right into the top of your stomach. Yeah.
Quick motions.
That's
Shove.
right. When you're 72, you just get it over with as quick as possible. You don't want to go soft.
There's a pill for that.
There's a pill for that. That's right. But I don't know. And one time I had a friend who took like 3 of those recreationally, and he had to go to the hospital. Literally had to go to the hospital.
That is funny because when I used to work for the sales team in Nashville, we had a guy that I worked with, and he was hilarious. And so one time he was like, you know what? I'm really not feeling well today. I think I'm going to call in and say I have an erection.
Propriism.
It won't go down.
It won't go down. I was like 25 years old, and I was running with like a pretty fast crowd, right? And there was an older guy, and he was like the drug dealer guy. He was older by like 5 years, so he might have been like in his early 30s, and he was like the drug dealer guy. But he was a cool drug dealer guy, and he was my like actual friend too, right? And so he's just like a really cool guy that happened to sell drugs.
Yeah,
it just happened to be like a scuzzy drug dealer, but. And so one night I was over at his, oftentimes we'd be, at the after party, we'd be at his house. We'd be up late, till like, 3 o'clock the next afternoon or whatever. Right. And so we were all there playing video games, listening to music, hanging out. And he's like, Bryan, come here, man. Come here. And so I went back in his bedroom, this apartment. And I was like, what? What's up? What's up? Are the cops here? What's up? I'm so paranoid, And he was like, man, I got a boner. And I'm like, whoa, cool. Did you call me back here for that? I didn't know it was that kind of party. I'm not prepared. I'm not prepared. I haven't showered today. You don't want to touch me. And he said, no, man, listen, I got a boner. Like, I took some Viagra. This was just when Viagra had just come out. He's like, somebody gave me some Viagra. They told me it was fun when you did it recreationally. You could go a long time with your girlfriend and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, all the drugs you're taking, I'm sure you could go a long time anyway. Like, you should have no problems. You shouldn't be mixing these 3 types of drugs together. But he said, I took 3 of them about 3 hours ago, and I've had a boner ever since. And because I'm just a curious guy, I couldn't help but then look down, which made the whole situation even more awkward because now I'm staring at his boner through his sweatpants, right? And I'm like, oh, you do have a boner, man. That's really unfortunate, right? But the thing was, his girlfriend wasn't even there. She had left like 2 hours earlier.
Oh.
And so I told him, what I wanted to do is get some ice and like rub it down. But I did not do that. I was like, oh man, well, it'll go down eventually. He's like, it's been like this for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I think that's an emergency. I think I read that somewhere. And at this time, we don't have cell phones and internet. We have cell phones, but it's not internet connected. So there's no way of knowing. And I was like, I've never heard of this. It's called propriism, man. And if you get propriism, you can get like, a whole infection and stuff.
Oh no.
So
he had to go to the hospital?
After 5 hours, right? So he stayed back in his room, and what he tried to do was he tried to make it go down, if you know what I mean, right? He was trying to make it go down. But periodically he would come out because we were, and there was like 16
Still
people in the
hasn't
apartment.
happened.
Yeah, he'd come out and he'd be like, he'd cover it up and Brian. I just remember this happening like 5 or 6 times.
Like
I know.
a towel.
I know. Like I throw a towel over my thing and I come running. What's up, coach? Some more ice? I've got some icy hot.
Have you tried this?
Slap some icy hot on
Here's
that.
a picture
Yeah.
of your grandmother.
Here's a cat. Puppies. Baseball. What do you think? Here, I'll drop my pants. I'll drop my pants, and then you'll really get turned off. Meanwhile, someone walks in, and I've got my pants down, and he's got a boner, and they're all like, what happened? I'm trying to make his cock go down. We're trying to chill out his cock. It's on fire. His cock won't listen to us. We've been telling it for hours to go down.
Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. It's just me trying to convince my friend to make his boner go down. This is a true story, by the way. I did not drop my pants, but the true story is he had a boner, and he would call me every couple of 20 minutes. I don't know. We were all so fucked up too.
Yeah.
It was just like it was a weird night, you know.
Yeah.
And I kept running back there, and he'd be like, "I don't know, man. It's not normal. Look at it." And I'd like stare at it for a few minutes, not knowing what the appropriate amount of time was to be staring at my friend's cock.
Or
Like,
the reaction.
yeah. My reaction was like, "Wow, that's impressive." I don't think I've had a boner for 5 hours. But eventually, after after some time of doing this whole dance back and forth, like another couple people found out, and one of the girls, because they thought it was word got around. The dean kept on coming out with a boner, and Bride following back in. Wait, I wonder why I never got laid in that group. Now I'm starting to think about it. I think it might have had to do with that one night where I kept following this guy back into his room with a boner.
It could have been.
Huh.
Yeah.
Go figure.
That'll give somebody an impression.
Yes, that'll give somebody. We'll be back after these words. Oh, man. So he went to the hospital. And I don't know what they did for him. They gave him some kind of medicine.
You never saw him again after.
I never saw him again after. He died of an erection. He died of a hard-on. How did he die? Heart attack? No, hard-on.
Hard-on.
Yeah. So that, I mean, listen, it's, it must have been horribly embarrassing for him, but he had to walk in. I wasn't there with him. He had to walk into the emergency room.
You didn't go with him after all you'd been through?
No, I was too fucked up. I was like, no, I ain't walking into those bright lights.
No, the hospital lights.
No, I literally one time I dropped a friend off at the front of the hospital, like pushed him out the door, like they do with the gunshot wound victims. They just like push him out the door. Don't tell anybody anything. My friend was having a panic attack, and so like all of us loaded into the and it was like 9 a.m, right? Like whenever the sun comes up, like 8 a.m. during the summer, right?
Yeah.
And like everybody was like all fried and weird, and the whole situation was weird. And she was like, I'm dead, I'm dying.
Oh, no.
And I was like, oh no, this sucks. And so after a while, we just made the decision that she has to go to the hospital because she's really looking pretty bad. And we literally we got there, and she's like, okay, who's coming with me? And we were like, no, I can't. Yeah, you're on your own.
We got you here.
Do you have insurance?
We got you here.
Call your mom. It was a shitty thing to do, but if you've ever been fucked up, then that at some point you got to cut your losses. You just got to say you're in good hands. That's right. You're with sober people. We're gonna do you no good. We're just gonna confuse the situation. We all might end up in a hospital over a panic attack. So we didn't do it. Poor girl. I remember that. Okay, we'll get to one more because now we've wasted an entire 30 minutes talking about my friend's boner.
Coach, Coach, what do you need?
Hey, Coach, what do you need?
Some more ice.
Get in here, Brian. I need ice, some icy hot, and a hand with Vaseline. Get in here now. All right, son, turn on big, beautiful women. Turn up the volume real loud and go to town. I'm going as fast as I can, Coach. Harder. Yank. Pull. To the right, to the left. Go. Those little ants are marching. I can feel them.
I'm picturing like a whiteboard with like play by play.
Okay, you're gonna rub it a little bit to the left. You're gonna rub it twice to the left and once to the right. Then I want you to jiggle my balls a little bit, son. And slap me in the ass.
That's the old Hail Mary.
Yeah. Now, if we get to the fourth quarter and we're just about to score, son, if we're just about to score and the time's running out, you know what I want you to do? Stick a finger in my ass. We're gonna do the old poop and shooting. I call this the old poop and shooting. Stick it right up my ass. Sorry, coach.
I'll let you down.
I'm second string. I don't know what to tell you. I tried everything. We're going to have to... I'm just pinch hitting, coach. I'm not the norm. I'm not the norm of a batter.
Just a fill-in.
Oh, we should have done that entire time. Probably should have called his girlfriend back.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think the problem was I think there was attempts to make it go down.
And then she's like, I gotta go.
Well, I don't think she was a part of that because I think I think he noticed like our number. He was in the back room for a while.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend, who we all knew, had left or not many, but a couple. I'm remembering a couple hours earlier.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, maybe it just didn't work. Maybe. I don't know, but that's got to be incredibly uncomfortable. I got to say that if you go more than an hour with an erection, that's probably kind of painful. I would be concerned also.
Well, especially in a party setting.
Yeah, and it's your house too. Right. It's not like you can come out and wave the flag. Right. Just like, hey, everybody, I got a hard on that won't go away. Party's over.
Clear out.
Yeah, I hate to interrupt your game of Madden over here, but I don't know if you noticed. I got a raging boner that won't go away. Anybody got any ideas? Anybody familiar with a raging boner that goes on for hours at a time? I make fun, but people, this happens. They say it right on the Viagra commercials.
They do.
If you have an erection lasting more than 5 hours, call your doctor immediately. Yes. Go to the hospital. Go to the ER. Yep. Because I think that blood gets stuck down there eventually, and you get blood clots and stuff. Yeah, I wonder what they did. I wonder they probably gave him some Xanax or something and was like, "Calm down, dude. You're all fucked up." Because we were fucked up. My 20s were. Can
you reach out to him like on Facebook?
I wish I knew. I fear that he's dead. Yeah. Remember me? I was in the bedroom with you trying to make your boner go down.
I remember your boner.
I should post it on his Facebook wall. It's me. I was trying to make your boner go down that one night.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Did you ever get rid of that erection? Remember we were in your room a couple times trying to make that boner go away? But it'd be a true story. Like it would. I wouldn't be lying. Good times.
Oh yeah, Bryan.
Oh yeah, dude. I haven't seen you in years. Last time I saw you, you were helping me get my erection down. You were talking to my dick last time I saw you. Okay, buddy. Time to go to bed. Time to go to sleep.
Night night.
Night night. Night nighty. Put a little hat on it. Wrap it in a blanket.
Play the calm out.
Read it a little book. The little boner that could. Oh my god. This little boner went to market, and this little boner went to town. This little boner said hi to this little boner, and this little boner went down.
That's a good one.
Thank you very much. Do you want a glass of water, little boner? It's time to go to bed. Time to go to sleepies. Oh my god, we've wasted 40 minutes talking about my friend's boner. It's time to go to bed now. Yeah. I'm counting boners. I'm counting cum. Little cum shots.
Jumping over the fence.
Yeah, jumping over the fence. Pew! Pew! Oh my.
Yes.
This is the kind of quality entertainment you can expect on Fridays here at the commercial break. Our advertisers are thrilled with us. 1-800-Flowers. 1-800-Flowers is like, wow, thank God we decided to advertise with those guys.
Took a shot.
I know, yeah. Well, 1-800-Flowers, maybe this is an occasion. Maybe, Valentine's Day is a made-up holiday.
Soon. Get well soon.
Get limp soon. Get limp soon.
Get rid of that hard-on, Dave. I heard about your hard-on, and I'm really sorry.
Some flowers.
I heard about your propriism, and I just want you to know that it's a serious condition that we here at 1-800-Flowers take seriously. Maybe they have like a little balloon that like half filled with air. Like a little dick balloon half filled with air that's kind of like this. Yeah.
Like the one you twist into a hot dog.
Yeah. But it's like, it's not all the way full. It's just kind of.
That's a perfect
Oh
one.
my God. Wow. This has been an interesting episode of the commercial break, to say the least. It took a turn. I felt I had to be honest with the audience. That's what happened. Wow.
Hopefully they laughed too.
Hopefully they laughed. I'm sure we got a giggle out of somebody.
Yes.
Probably not the person that was listening at work. All the show notes out the window again. There you go. This is Krissy and Bryan going off on a tangent. Started off with
That's
Teen
what we
Mom.
do.
Ended up with me trying to convince my friend's boner to go down.
Come on, coach. You got this, coach.
I got this, coach. Put it in the ass now! Run the Hail Mary! TCBpodcast.com is where you go to find out find out more about Krissy and I. You can read all the show notes. You can watch all of our YouTube videos and find our entire audio library there. For now, you can find our entire audio library on our website. More about that coming up in the future, Krissy.
Call us too if you want, or text us.
Yeah, 470-584-8449. Call, leave a message, text us. Standard text messaging rates do apply, but we will get back to you. Promise. And it'll be one of us. One of us here on the staff will get back to you.
Yes.
Unless you're just calling to tell us to fuck off.
Yeah.
Well, we'll still get back to you.
We'll note
still
that.
respond to you.
We'll note that.
It's a lot of
Noted.
Krissy and I going back and forth on that. I don't know why.
This is
but
a test.
yeah.
Did you get this?
Did you get this? Do you have this? Did you get this? We actually have had some people that have texted us, so I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you. People
And
who text.
what else? More news. Patreon's going to be revamped. We'll tell you more about that in the upcoming weeks. That's really exciting. We've got a new Patreon platform. I think that's going to be better value for everybody, and hopefully people want to jump on in. But we also are now releasing Friday episodes. So that's why you're hearing us on Friday.
Woo!
And
Friday.
Friday. Tuesdays and Fridays. We are here for you. What else can I say? At the Commercial Break on Instagram. And catch us on ClubHouse. I'm there all the time.
You are.
I'm there all the time.
Yeah.
But also, I want you to know that TCB, the Commercial Break, is going to start recording episodes, a couple episodes a month, live on ClubHouse. That means you can interact with us live. And the way that you get notified about those, because of course we're recording this, it's not live. The way that you get notified is you go to ClubHouse if you're a member, and find me at Bryan Green, BryanGreen, and follow me and hit the little bell next to my name, and then you'll be notified whenever we open a room. And that way you can follow us, or you can go to TCB Krissy with a KRISSY. So that's it. That's all I got to say. I love you.
I love you
We'll
too.
get through this. 2 episodes a week now, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Follow and subscribe on YouTube if you're so kind. Until next time. Bye.
The Commercial Break Friday episodes can now be found on Patreon at patreon.com/The Commercial Break. New episodes are available on YouTube every Tuesday. Visit www.tcbpodcast.com for more information on all of our content. Follow us at The Commercial Break on Instagram or leave us a message at 470-584-8449. The Commercial Break is written and produced by Bryan Green, co-hosted by Krissy Hogler. The Commercial Break. Tune it in and write it out.